hey, ho, let's go, hey, ho, let's go, hey, ho, let's go. They're falling in a straight line, they're going through a tight one. The kids are losing their mind with the blitzkrieg bop. The food in the back seat, generating steam heat, pulsating to the backbeat on the blitzkrieg bop. Hey, ho, let's go, shoot 'em in the back now. What they want, I don't know. They're all wrapped up and ready to go. Running in a straight line, they're going through the tight wine. The kids are losing their mind on the blitzkrieg bop. The pine in the back seat, generating steam heat, pulsating to the backbeat on the blitzkrieg bop. Hey, ho, let's go, shoot 'em in the back now. What they want, I don't know. They're all wrapped up and ready to go. Everybody, hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. Hey, ho, let's go. Hey ho, let's go, episode 28, Cocktales of Tiki King. Here we are once again, right here at the Tiki King bar. Mayhem and whatnot, so forth. Things both beautiful, strange, and wonderful. Maybe, probably not. Things both boring and demure. Things dramatic, and yet somehow unentertaining. So here we are. So yeah, Blitzkrieg Bop, Ramones. I like the Ramones. You guys like the Ramones? I have a feeling there's probably a Ramones fan out there, one or two. And it's so there's a couple things. We'll get into it in a little bit here, as to why I chose that as my opening song. Not because of the 6 lines, but that is a clue to our ultimate demise. But because the Ramones. Go back to the 70s, strange enough. Most people know 74, I believe, is what the Ramones go back to. Which was kind of the tail end of the hippie days. And the reason that's important is because tonight's drink, so we'll get right down to it. So tonight's drink is, we're going into the Daquris. And I know what you're thinking. I already said it. I'm like, okay, you're thinking Daquris, right? Daquris. The hippie days ruined the Daquris. That's the thing. No, so 74. That's like the tail end of the hippie days. They ruined the Daquris. They took what was actually a delicious classic cocktail. They reduced it down to this frozen dessert with booze in it, which I'm not against particularly. I mean, but they took this thing. It was this classic cocktail like the martini or like the gimlet, and they made it a booze-filled Slurpee, basically. So it's like someone goes, "Hey, now let's have Daquris," and immediately, where does the mind go? Strawberry daiquiri, frozen strawberry daiquiri, right? Which I'm not saying that's a bad drink, but that's not that's like that's frozen strawberry. That's like you go to Vegas, you go to Fremont Street, you buy them by the yard, right? You get yard long frozen margarita adult Slurpee that's just high fructose corn syrup, Kool-Aid, and a bunch of cheap rum, and you chug them down, and it's fun. I'm not going to say it's not fun, but by the end of the night, you're in a nightclub and you're pretending not to vomit under the table, which some of you know about. But that's not the Daquris. That's some weird thing that the Daquris became. And so tonight we're going to go back to where it came from, which is different. Like I said, it's one of the sour drinks. It's like a whiskey sour or a gimlet, the Daquris. So we're going to make. Why don't we just make some? You want to make some?
Yeah.
Turk's back.
Yeah.
It's like, damn right, I don't want to make some.
Stop talking.
Shut up and make
drinks.
Yeah. Okay. So let's get out our stuff here because. Typical. What do we need? Shaker half filled with ice. Looks like that should be. That's not half though. So the Daquris. It's funny because the Daquris is like not. It can be complicated if you want it to be complicated, but it really doesn't have to be. So tonight we're going to be making the Tiki King Daquiri. But we're going to get into some other things, and I'll talk about it afterwards. But we got to get to boozing because it's times. The clock is the goddamn sobriety clock is ticking. Sorry for the swearing, but fucking it. This is going to have to be one of those not safe for work episodes, maybe. I was drinking cognac before the show. My speed port is leaking, so I'm going to do it over the glass, and that's a bonus, I think. So I was drinking cognac before the show. We did last week's episode with cognac, and we decided that we didn't like the sidecar so much. But I found that just a glass of cognac is actually not a bad thing. It tastes like booze.
So I've heard.
Yeah. So I've already been drinking those, so I might have loosened my tongue and spirit already. Okay, so we got the booze in there. We're going to need some lime. I'm not going to tell you how much. We'll get into that when we get to the recipe part. But I'm drinking for two now. I'm not pregnant or anything, but you know. How much is that? That's a quarter. So we're going to have to go with a 1 whole lime per drink. And watch this. This is an important part. I'm trying to throw the whole thing in there because at least 1/2 a lime, because then we're going to get some of the volatile esters from the lime peel that will help us later in some way. Who knows? I can be lying. That's the thing. You never know with me. I could just be making it up as I go along. But you wouldn't know, because I don't know. So then we're going to go with 2 ounces of this is simple syrup. I made it earlier. I've talked about simple syrup in the past. It's easier than using granulated sugar. It's basically just equal parts granulated sugar and water. You cook them up until they're clear, and it makes it easier to measure. It makes it easier to mix. You don't have all that unsightly biznatch, as they say. So we got our lime, we got our booze, we got our sugar. We're going to give that a nice shake. But actually, first thing we're going to do here is we need our cocktail glasses, because the Tiki King recipe calls for some magic.
Hey, which one's mine?
The bigger one.
Yay!
You know that by now. So what we're going to do for this one is what we call a rinse. We need some Cointreau. And to rinse the glass, you'll see this in bar recipes. It says rinse the glass. What that means is basically just coat the insides with whatever that stuff is. And like I said, in this case, it's Cointreau, which is an orange liqueur, which is going to help because it has more booze in it. Maybe only a little, but you know. Maybe. Oh, you know what it is? You know what? Do you know?
I don't.
You don't. Okay. So today is Buy a Bum a Drink Day. So maybe you get to be Turk can be honorary bum today.
Woohoo!
So I did. So we were in Bakersfield. We were learning to tattoo. I talked belittling about that before. So we were in Bakersfield last week. Excuse me while I shake, but we need to get to it. So we were in Bakersfield last week, and I found myself looking for myself, which was kind of apropos because it made it easier. I found myself going out for food late at night because we've been tattooing and drinking all day, and so I was going into this restaurant, and there was a guy outside, and he said, "Hey man, can you spare some change so I can get a sandwich?" And I said, "No." And then I remembered. Then I thought, you know what? I'm going to give the guy $1. Why not? And I reached in my pocket, and all I had was a $20 bill. And I remembered. The 12 steps to being a real drunkard. One of them is you got to give a bum a $20 bill and make him promise to spend it on booze. So I went back to him and I said, "Look, I can't afford to do this, but it's something that I have to do because it will help me complete my journey. Here's $20. You got to promise me you'll spend it on booze." And he was like, "Okay." So there we go. So I'm one step closer to godliness, apparently. So Buy a Bum Drink Day, I did my $20 thing. So there we go. So now we're gonna try this. We just whipped up a couple of Tiki King Daquris. Let's see what happens. Let's experiment and observe the results. Wait! Don't drink that yet! Oh, he was so close. His like the tongue was almost. It was like. Yeah. So we opened with Blitzkrieg Bop. Today is Dee Dee Ramone's Death Day. So here's to you, Dee Dee. Thanks for the music, man.
Ooh.
Now,
Wow.
think about that, and that is absolutely nothing like the booze-filled Slurpees
No.
that you get. God's sake, that's good.
I like it.
We might have to make another one.
Might.
Perhaps we should chug this one down so that since we're empty, I can start again. It's like fulfilling an empty promise in an adult brain. But so the Daquris. So I promised I'd digress a little bit about Daquris. So the Daquris. So what I just made was the Tiki King Daiquiri, which you can find on tikiking.com. Go to the booze portal, tikiking.com/booze. Go to the cocktail database, Daquris. It's under there, the Tiki King Daiquiri, and you can enjoy one as we do. It's a fantastic thing. That is good. I'm surprised that I've not made one in a long time, and gotta say I like it. So there you'll find a couple different recipes. You'll find the Tiki King one, which I said we just made that one. You'll find the standard daiquiri, which is basically just booze, lime juice, and a little bit of sugar. But like I said, not using simple syrup. It ends up it's a grainy and stuff, and yeah. But and you don't rinse a glass of Cointreau in those. So yeah, it's the same thing, kind of ish, but it's not quite as good, I would say. But then you'll also see. Here's the thing. You'll also see on that page the recipe for the Hemingway daiquiri. Sounds intriguing enough to make another drink.
Was that one have cat hair in it?
It does.
The Hemingway?
No, it has diagrams of motors. My gear friends will like that one. No, so I'm going to get into that here, but I'm going to shake up another one of these because that's what Hemingway would have done. I would think. That's what Dee Dee would have done. Maybe, if he wasn't...
Are we going to have the Hemingway now?
No.
Oh.
No, screw that. But I'll get into why I say that in a minute. Because, sometimes life is filled with disappointments. And this is not one of those times. So if you thought it was, maybe you should reevaluate. Because you could be here with us, drinking, and not lamenting your life choices as much as we do. But yes, no, yes, maybe. Last time I just put in a full lime's worth of juice in there, so I'm not even going to measure this time with the lime because what's the point? No one cares. Do you guys care? As I squeeze my limes in your presence, they're like, we didn't hear about the president's wait. So hey, if you don't have a citrus squeezer, go out and get yourself one because when you're making cocktails, it's a whole lot better than just squeezing it and hoping that you get all the juice because this way you know for sure. And it also separates the seeds and gives it a good squeeze. And that's going to be important. So I'm surprised. What is that? Jesus, small man. What is wrong with me? Is that too much?
Never.
No? Is that enough?
There you go.
Probably not. I should make a wish. Add extra. That and booze out of lime and then simple syrup. Mary Poppins had a song about that. I probably shouldn't go into that one.
No.
That got me in trouble last time. That's one. We're making two, so double. Double it in that 30. Metric drink making. Alright. I know they're all like, tell us the goddamn Hemingway story. For God's sake, man. We're waiting. They're probably not. They're probably like CJ, who's already drunk because he's been drinking like Jameson like since noon.
That bastard.
make sure I get some.
Did you rinse?
No. Damn it!
Ah.
See what happens? I get so excited about this. I suppose I can put in a splash. I don't know if that works, but we'll try it because otherwise there'd be nothing left to live for. What happened to my rinsing thing? There it is. Only a few drops of it anyway.
That's all we need.
2 drops of essence of terror, 3 drops of sinister sauce. Back there. Have at. Have at you! Okay, so, I promised to tell some story about something. Hemingway. So Hemingway. So I don't know how many of you are Hemingway fans out there. It suffered not at all.
No.
This could become my new favorite drink.
Yeah.
I'm not just saying. You know, it could be the booze talking, but I really like booze. So Hemingway. I don't know. Hemingway fans, let's vote on this side. Yay, and on this side, woohoo. So Hemingway. So he wrote a lot of books. Born in the 1800s, and that, which is more. I wasn't. None of us were. So I can't like vouch for that. I can't really expound upon that sort of thing. But
was he a manly man?
He was a manly man.
Was he a man's man?
He was a man's man who was derided for his overt non-feminist attitudes, shall we say? But the funny thing is that actually his portrayal of women were usually in 2 categories, which were, if you really wanted to distill it down, were basically doms and femmes. And so basically he had some very strong female characters and some very weak female characters, but people focused on the weak because that was the style of his writing, which was that he was the man, the man was the man, the man's man, man's been the man, and the love and the hate, and the 10 feet tall of the night. So, but here's the thing. So Hemingway, he wrote a lot of stuff, wrote about war, wrote about peace, wrote about drinking, wrote about the sea, wrote about old men. I'm not going to get into that. He didn't. So the funny thing, I'm not here to discuss literary heroes. So we're done. Good night. No. So here's the thing. So Hemingway, he got lumped in with the beat poets, right? He got sort of his stuff came in with all the people who were just discovering a lot of the sort of avant-garde, sort of new writers. Like, I mean, he's an old writer, but he got somehow like drawn into this whole thing of this like sort of revolutionary writing thing. And one of the things about Hemingway was that his style was described as being sort of minimalistic. That he wrote in very small, he didn't write big words, he wrote easy to understand sentences, he was very sort of short and direct and to the point. At least that's what they'll tell you when you go to writing class. But to be honest, it's kind of bullshit it's kind of not true in my opinion. I might have to bleep that out later if we're going to put this on the Disney Channel. So Hemingway, here's an example that I had to write out because I had to write it out because I'll read it. And so here's something he wrote, and although hold on, wait, you listen to me now. Okay, so he wrote, "The world breaks everyone, and afterwards many are strong in the broken places. But those that will not break, it kills. It kills the very good and the very gentle and the very brave impartially. And if you are none of these, surely it will kill you too, but there will be no special hurry." Okay, so that's like a paragraph. What does it say? "What does not kill me makes me stronger." One sentence. Boom. I mean, so it's funny because this all there is a point at some point, but my hat covers it. So here's the thing. So Hemingway, right? It's supposed to be all simple, easy to understand. It's supposed to be distilled down to its common elements so that the common man can read it and feel somewhat enlightened, and then their booze-filled stupor can go, yes, that is what you're saying. But here's the thing. There's a Hemingway daiquiri, right? The Hemingway daiquiri, and it's fairly famous amongst the cocktail circles, amongst mixologists, amongst people who make their own syrups. and spend all night distilling dragon fruit down to its essence.
Amongst the drinkerati.
The drinkerati, yes. There is the Hemingway Daiquiri. And here's the thing. What we just made, 4 ingredients, right? The Hemingway Daiquiri, there's a couple, but 1 ounce white rum, Havana Club if you can get it, 3/4 ounce grapefruit juice, 1/2 ounce fresh lime juice, 1/4 ounce Luxardo maraschino liqueur, 1/4 ounce simple syrup, garnished with a grapefruit twist. I'm sorry, but that is getting to the point of what is the point of all that?
But it sounds good.
It might be. I don't know. That sounds like too much stuff. It sounds like people who are going to be arguing. It sounds like a room full of hippies talking about communism, and none of them making any sense to me. That's the thing. Okay, then another one. 2 ounces white rum, 3/4 ounce fresh lime juice, 1/2 ounce grapefruit juice, 1/2 ounce maraschino liqueur, 1 lime wheel, a 1/2 teaspoon demerara sugar syrup. This is like all needlessly complicated. And you're trying to celebrate an author who's supposed to be simple, and yet it's all getting lost in this complicated overture of flavors and mixtures that who knows if it really pays off. Whereas it's actually only 3 ingredients. The Cointreau was just a hint of what could come, even if it's like an invasion of apes who could think like humans. But anyway, there you go. So I'm not saying that you shouldn't make the Hemingway Daiquiri, because if you got all that stuff, Luxardo maraschino liqueur. Okay, just so you know, that's going to cost you like $25 for a half pint, because you have to get the maraschino cherries, and the Luxardos are $20, and that's going to give you like a little bit of syrup. If you got the dosh, why not? I guess. For me, I don't know. It sounds overly complicated. Whereas this is going to do the job and did, because I feel it.
I'm just liking the idea of the grapefruit.
I'm always for grapefruit. I am not opposed to the grapefruit. No, sir. What I'm saying is you don't always need to overcomplicate something just for the sake of mixology. Or even like this, and so. So during my research, because I do extensive research, it takes me like 6 months before each episode of research. And one of the things I found in my research is that the Hemingway Daiquiri had nothing to do with Hemingway. It had nothing to do with Hemingway. It was inspired by where he lived and the fact that they grew grapefruit nearby. I know, disappointment. It comes from all sides. What are you going to do? You can fight it off with conventional means. You can shoot them. You can use knives. You can double tap like a zombie. But what does it get you in the end? Nothing. So I would say, if you have grapefruit, if you have all this stuff, go for the Hemingway. Give it a try. Why not? If you can afford a $20 bottle of maraschino cherries, hey, invite me over. Why not? We'll give it a whirl. But what I'm saying is you don't need to, because here's the thing. We can go marlin fishing, and we can land a gigantic fish and kill like champions, but we don't need $20 maraschino cherry liqueur to do it. Because you and me and Turk and Maggie and all you guys out there, we can kill like champions! And we don't need to get overly complicated. And that's kind of the theme of my whole show. Most of the time is like, you don't need, if you can, why not? If you got the time, you got the money, you got the liquor, hey, do some mixology. Make something that's going to explode. Light stuff on fire. But what I'm saying is that you don't need to do all that to kill like champions. And that's what I think we did tonight with this particular daiquiri.
It was lovely.
It is lovely. It's a thing of beauty for all to enjoy.
Well, for us to enjoy.
Mm-hmm. Well, for you guys to enjoy vicariously, because you can't. Or if you looked at I did the spoiler, and people could be making them right now.
Yeah.
Did anyone make a daiquiri? Are you guys? I can't see. I don't know what's going on, but even if I could see, I kind of can't see right now. And the daiquiris are blank. But so anyway, excuse me, a little bit of business. So Boozeketeer, roll call. I'm not going to do it because I don't have my list. Producer Maggie is apparently compiling a list of Boozeketeer names, addresses, phone numbers, commonly used passwords, mother's maiden names, and first pets, streets that they grew up on. Never mind. Anyway, so we'll be doing later episodes. We'll do Boozeketeer roll call of people who are how do you got card carry? It's not card. You know, a card. Pin wearing Boozeketeers. But the reason I digress into that is that today's Tuesday, which is why I'm here, televising my drunkenness. Most nights I just pass out and no one watches. But tonight I'm live doing this. So we're going to Salt Lake City. Yeah. Turk is shaking his head quietly.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are.
So we're going to Salt Lake City, and there's going to be the largest ever gathering of Boozeketeers. Yeah,
that's right.
It's exciting. So there's going to be the largest. So we're all going to be there, and we hope to see you in Salt Lake City. If you can't make it, probably because of some sort of failure on your part. Not me. I'm going to be there.
We're not judging.
No, we're not judging you.
Well,
not on the show.
No.
We do have a tick sheet in which we rate your failures in a category between 1 and 6. 6 being the lowest, 2 being the highest, because 1 is mute, and 3 doesn't really matter. So, but yeah, so if you're there in Salt Lake City, come on out, because maybe on stage I'll commandeer and do a Boozeketeer toast thing with the booze that you brought me, because you are all such loyal subjects.
You are the king, after all.
Mm-hmm. And don't forget to wear your pins. If you're coming out to Salt Lake City and you're a Boozeketeer and you are a pin-wearing Boozeketeer membership, wear your Boozeketeer pin, get in half price to the Boozeketeer meeting. See, I've digressed again because I had a whole bunch of other stuff. So, another thing that I meant to talk about, and I will. What are we at? Are we at 20? Are we running over yet?
Well over.
Well over? Should I keep going?
Do whatever you want.
I still have things to talk about, and the Boozeketeers are not quite drunk enough yet.
Digress on.
So something that has come into light. We have 4 lines. You see what I was prepared for?
Oh, good God!
We're already like, ooh, okay. I was ready for more. So something that I used to do in my pre-drunken stupor and in my drunken stupor was that so you find yourself serving drinks to friends and hosting a party and making things, bar journal, right? Write stuff down. Write it down. Write down the drinks that you drank. Write down the people who were there. Write down the weird things that they said, because later, because you're not going to remember, trust me. But as Turk knows, sometimes reading the bar journal is really entertaining, because there's stuff in there that you're like, whoa, I don't remember that, but apparently that happened. And that's, Hemingway, authors, writing. So when you're out in your drunken stupor, write down what happens, because you can always in the morning either get rid of it or save it for posterity, because there could be stuff that you don't know that happens that might be good to remember. But if you're bartending, write it down, bar journal, because that's good. And Turk has one in the bilge that not in that bilge. Jiminy cricket. So down in the bilge, which is Turk's bar, which is pirate, which is like being in the bilge. You know what the bilge is? That's where all the nasty things end up.
That's where the drunken sailors go.
That's where the nasty things end up in the ship, which is us. So down his bar, the bilge, he has a bar journal, and there's some things there. He writes down who was there and what we were drinking and that sort of thing. And we're going to be actually doing a live stream from the bilge. We're going to be doing Cocktales at Tiki King.
At some point.
At some point from the bilge.
3 weeks or so.
3-4 weeks down the road. We're gonna do it. And then, so one of the things, I'm gonna be on the road a lot. I'm gonna be out traveling around doing stuff, causing mayhem, creating problems, giving you an alibi if you need one, or giving you a reason to leave the house, because maybe I'll be in your town and I'll say, hey, Tiki King's gonna be at bar so and so, and you can say, gotta go, man, Tiki King's in town. But while I'm out traveling about the country, getting drunk and putting it on Facebook, you should send me an email Tiki King at tikiking.com and say, hey, I have a bar in my town that you should come to, and there's a slight possibility that if we come to your town and do, what is this show? Cocktales of Tiki King. If we...
Where am I?
What year is this? The year! Where am I? So, if we come to your town and do Cocktales of Tiki King live from a bar near you, you, Boozeketeers, can be on that live stream. And it's not going to make you rich, but it will make me drunk, and that's the most important thing.
And probably you too.
And probably you too, as long as you keep your mind and wallet open, everyone will be happy. So, with that, I'm going to say goodnight, Boozeketeers, and thank you for watching yet another show, enduring. Watching or enduring?
Yeah.
Probably enduring. Thank you for enduring another show here on Cocktales of Tiki King, where our motto is, do good distilleries, send us booze. Pretty break things. So thanks everybody, thanks Boozeketeers, thanks Maggie, producer Maggie, who's commenting and not commenting and trying really hard not to say rude things to people. Thanks Julie at home, thanks Sophie, who actually is on, don't watch Sundays with Sophie, on hiatus for a little bit because it's summertime and the living is easy. Or summertime, there's a whole Roger Miller.
Yeah.
When the leaves and trees are green, the blackbird sings, I'll be blue, because you don't want my love. Sometimes what you say when I want you is let me make me cry, because you don't want my love.
Who needs a radio?
Yeah. So anyway, don't listen to my kids' show, Sundays with Sophie, because Sundays with Sophie isn't happening. But go to tikiking.com/booze. There's a portal there. It'll take you places. Go to tikiking.com/info. Join the Tiki King Paradise Club. Chair.
Pull up a chair.
Pull up a chair. That's right.
Show.
Pull up a chair and we'll roll grapefruit into the street until the police come and tell us to stop. So there you go. All right, Boozeketeers, this has been another episode of Cocktales with Tiki King, episode 29.
9?
Is that it? 28?
8.
I don't know.
9.
You guys keep track. I'm not going to. But I'll see you next week. As I do the crab walk.